Holmes. Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad. Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded? You...
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone, then. This is my archive. I can always consult my archive. My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Do you remember?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband...
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Madam...
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Can you please tell me...
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually, whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You have indeed suffered.
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Peter Carey's body is inside.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see. These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open.
I swear these scratch...
Now mysterious.
Well, he's not the man for the job.
Perhaps he did not have... What a terrible way to die. Someone drank from this glass. Someone... The initials P... This aroma is familiar. Yes, this is a course. Rum. It seems that Captain Kaderi was enjoying a drink. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Kaderi was fully dressed. He was not... The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force... Peter Kaderi was impaled. This blood is from the pool. This wooden handle is... Peter Kaderi tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not. JHN are The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor. These abbreviations... Someone was here. Peter Kaderi's boots. Old navigation instrument. The ship's lock. The tooth. This place is... An object was taken from here.
Mr. Holmes? Well, Mr.
I think...
And what?
Because of last night, it is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open.
Aha!
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us. These boots don't... These... Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin.
This window is locked from the inside. I do not see any attempt at a break-in. This looks...
Shh! Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? Then what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that you're coming...
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be...
Mr. Holmes? Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room.
Thank you. These are the suspects. The notebook that we found on these abbreviations. And partner. A pocket knife. It was used. A handkerchief. These are Does this...
Yes. But...
What do these...
Oh no, I beg you, I can't.
But I will find out. The sea knife was found near Carrie's body. Tell me, Mr. Nell.
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Well, I will see you soon.
Please, let me go. I'm...
A spot of whaling, Watson? No, but we do need to...
A reenactment, then?
The sailor's knife.
Peter Carey attempted to...
It is possible.
I don't quite...
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Well, thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely. That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much.
To indulge myself in a little experiment. Stand aside, Watson. This might...
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to...
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires...
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
The garden is very...
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Thank you, madam.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
These are the suspects. From to my Dawson. I've seen this name before. The police seized this...
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position. So, Mr...
The ring is mine.
So,
The ring is mine.
So,
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth... Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear, with your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was...
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
A map of London and the surrounding area. This is where I keep... That is not the one I need. Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connect... I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan.
Yes.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but my father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea. These... This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. This log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Log notes for August. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR, a torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. I have only to find them.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remain.
And who might that...
The Secret Police Division.
Ah, you mean young Wiggett?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful... Those children are everywhere. They see and hear...
How will you do...
There is always a watch beneath our window. Watson, I need Wiggett.
He's right across the street.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people.
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look with a rub.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always. What happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case...
Interest...
Well, the constable that I... Yes.
Let us...
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me... Of course. It's in the evidence room. At your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking. These are the suspects. Liam Hurtley's old booth. A pen. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely. And considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see. That's all for now.
What am I doing? What?
I'm not saying another...
These boots match the foot. Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Thank you, madam. I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing... First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent. No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again. I need to prepare. Done. Now I can proceed further. Let us see if the content of this letter sheds a little... I did as you asked and hid them well. Please. So tell me, Miss.
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one. But it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referred...
I will. Tell me, Miss.
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Because you are the...
I'm not.
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers, but the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested...
All right, you got me.
That's all for now.
I'm not saying...
Madam, we have information that the value...
Oh, my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing? My poor...
Let's see what could be hidden here. Let us see what is it. bundle of letters in a woman. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey. Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Mrs. Carey. We found...
My letters? I asked Liam to return them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley...
I don't know. I want to...
Where?
Oh, this is terrible.
You believe that he...
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has man...
Leave me alone, please.
I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailor.
I'm not...
What am...
I'm not saying...
How was the investigation go?
Mr. Holmes, we found...
Well done. This is interesting. This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were... Wiggins, could you gather some information?
We found Patrick Ken's.
Good job, Wiggins.
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub.
Excellent. Here is your reward. 2 guineas.
Thank you, sir.
If I wish to speak to Cairns... Now I can approach Cairns. Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling and arm wrestling here.
I start at 10 shit.
Suits.
You were lucky. I wasn't... Come back later, when you can use your arms again.
I'm ready.
Fine, if you want me to take all your money. Well, good for you, I reckon.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. You're a good type. Seems you've...
Not all that.
Oh, well.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result...
A harpooner. Interesting.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger.
Black Peter, you say?
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar, and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not as good...
I see. Yes.
But you ain't heard the word...
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in a dinghy.
And who was he?
I dunno. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't...
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Here it is. Have you got any tobacco? I've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe.
I'm done here. It's...
Care to lose another? I'm not.
What am I...
These are the... I wonder if these are... No, that... Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It's...
I'm not...
Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what...
I was trying to find some information about my father.
I assume you had another...
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original set... These papers, they belong...
That's all for now. Well...
I'm not...
How was he?
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Leave me.
If you wouldn't mind, Mr.
As I informed you on our way,
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it...
that would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12...
Oh,
No, I just heard the front...
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain...
Indeed, it is the correct address, but in...
That means...
it means, my friend...
What? What?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
And I say that we will.
jaw.
Yeah.
Ah,
It was remarkably easy.
and you practice boxing, I know. You must have hit it.
We should call for a police...
Yes, well, no need for a hospital. I would prefer to keep this between us.
Of course.